I absolutely love chicken shawarma. It's one of my favorite Middle Eastern dishes. The best part of the chicken to use for chicken shawarma is definitely boneless, skinless chicken thighs. But if you want to, you can use the breast in this recipe as well. And the great part about this is you don't even need to trim them. So just take about 2.5 to 3 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs out of the package and then lay them out. You do want to sort of unfold them because when you get them in the package, they're gonna be folded up nice and neat and they're gonna look like that. For this recipe, we want them unfolded because we want the marinade to really get all over the chicken. So just then put them on a tray. We're gonna mix up our marinade, and then we'll get our chicken into the marinade and we'll get it into the refrigerator for 4 hours up to 24 hours. The marinade for chicken shawarma is super easy to put together, and you don't need very many ingredients, but you do need quite a few spices. Now, there are plenty of different spice blends that you can use, but I'm gonna share my favorite with you in just a minute. First thing we're gonna add into our mixing bowl is 1/3 of a cup of a neutral oil. I use avocado oil, but you could use vegetable canola, whatever type of neutral oil that you want. If you have a light olive oil, like a light flavored olive oil, you could even use that. But stay away from really overpowering types of olive oil, okay? Because it's just gonna throw off your spices, throw off your flavors. All right, the next thing we're gonna use is 1/2 of a cup of plain yogurt. This can be Greek yogurt or regular plain yogurt, okay? The only difference between plain yogurt and Greek yogurt is that Greek yogurt is strained so that the whey is removed. And it doesn't matter in this recipe if you use the whey or not. Greek yogurt, your marinade's gonna be a little bit thicker. With a plain yogurt, it's gonna be a little bit thinner, okay? No difference in flavor. I've tasted it both ways, okay? The last liquid ingredient that we're gonna add in is the juice from 1 lemon. Usually this is about 3 tablespoons, but it does depend on your lemon. One way to get a little bit more juice out of your lemon, especially if it's kind of an older lemon, is to roll it on your cutting board a little bit. Or some people like to pop it into the microwave. I'm just gonna roll it a little bit, cut it in half, and use my citrus press. And if you don't get 3 tablespoons of lemon juice out of your 1 lemon, don't sweat it. It's not a big deal, okay? But if you do have another lemon in there, you could measure and you could put in 1.5 lemons, the juice from 1.5 lemons. I don't use the zest in this recipe, so if you have another recipe that you want to use the zest for, by all means, zest it before you juice it. All right, I'm not measuring because it doesn't matter. I have 1 lemon to use, and that's what I'm using. So there we go. And I would say that was a good one, maybe 1.5 tablespoons. So that's good. So I think we're gonna get real close to that 3 tablespoon mark. Oh yeah, this is a good lemon, juicy one. All right, there we go. All right, that's all the liquid ingredients we need. Now we are going to talk about the spices, okay? But I'm not gonna say them out because I couldn't even remember all that's in here. But they are a combination of spices that I found that I think makes this chicken shawarma really, really special. There's things like smoked paprika and cinnamon and cardamom and a little bit of turmeric for that signature color in the chicken shawarma. This is a great spice blend, but feel free to omit or change things as you see fit, okay? Now, I left the red pepper flakes out on purpose. Usually I just mix them in if I'm making it for myself because I know how much spice I want in my chicken shawarma. But for you, you can decide whether you want a little bit of spice, add in 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. If you want no spice, don't add any in. If you want I would say moderate spice, 1 teaspoon is what we want of red pepper flakes. And honestly, that's quite a bit of red pepper flakes. The other thing that I have noticed is that if you marinate for 4 hours, you're not gonna pick up as much of the spiciness as if you marinate for 24 or even up to 48 hours, okay? So just keep that in mind. If you want it moderately spicy, but you're only gonna marinate for 4 hours, feel free to put in 1 or even 1.5 teaspoons of the red pepper flakes. All right, now I'm gonna use a whisk just to get all these dry spices mixed in, and then we'll get our chicken pieces in. All right, that looks perfect. Now we're gonna get our chicken pieces in. When you put your chicken pieces into the marinade, it doesn't matter if you use a plastic bag. That's perfectly fine. That'll definitely save space in the refrigerator. But you want to make sure that you cover all sides of the chicken. This marinade is what makes this dish. So go ahead and give the chicken a little bit of bath in the marinade, and then we'll go to the next chicken piece and do that for all of them. Now I'm gonna leave the chicken in the bowl to marinate, so I'm gonna put a little bit of plastic wrap over at the end. And then I'm gonna marinate it overnight in the refrigerator. All right, that looks great. All of the chicken is covered with this delicious marinade. Now I'm gonna get a piece of plastic wrap. We're done with our tongs for now. And we're gonna put this over top of the bowl. Or again, you could transfer this into a plastic Ziploc bag. That's perfectly fine. Now I'm gonna set it in the refrigerator, and I'm gonna do mine overnight, so probably about a 12-hour marinade. But remember, at least 4 hours, no more than 48 hours, and you're gonna be good to go. Our chicken has finished marinating, and now it is time to start air frying. Now you can use any type of air fryer that you have. I have tested this recipe in the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper, the Ninja Combi, and in other like drawer style air fryers. In fact, today I'm going to do it in the Ninja Combi, and I'm also gonna air fry in one of the dual drawer air fryers that I have. The difference is how you're gonna prep the chicken to air fry it. Now, shawarma means cooking on a vertical spit that rotates around, and the heat cooks the chicken from the outside in, which is typical, but it creates all these little crunchy bits on the outside, but the inside of the chicken stays super moist. That is one of my favorite things about chicken shawarma, is not just the flavors, but the textures. So we wanna recreate that, but we wanna do it in an easy way, and most of us don't have a vertical spit at home. So if you have something that looks like this, it could be square, it can be round. They sell them on Amazon. It is a vertical kebab accessory for air fryers. This one's square, fits perfectly in the Ninja Combi. I'm gonna show you how to use the Ninja Combi and this accessory to air fry the chicken shawarma. But you may not have that, and you might wanna make this chicken shawarma right away. And if I was you, I would, because it's delicious. So, don't worry if you don't have one of those. There's another way to do it. Use twine. This is butcher's twine that is safe for air frying, and it will not burn. You don't need to soak it. It's gonna work perfectly. And what we do is we're gonna place it in an X pattern on your cutting board, okay? Now, this is the thing. When you go to stack your chicken thighs, don't do what I did the first time and stack like 6 of them. You're gonna be air frying for an hour. I kid you not. It works, but you're gonna be air frying for a long time, because remember, heat transfers from outside in, and it takes a really long time for that center to get cooked. So we're only gonna go 3 chicken thighs high on each bundle that we make, but you can make as many bundles as will fit in your air fryer. So let me show you how I stack it. Now remember, when we marinated this chicken, we did not trim anything off. That is because we want that fat to render and crisp up during the air frying process. Now, if you can see here, there is a bigger side and a littler side to the chicken thigh. That's pretty common on all chicken thighs. And we're gonna lay it down straight across, and we're gonna alternate this so we have even thickness as we stack, okay? Now, if you wanna go 4 deep, you absolutely can. Just remember, your timing's gonna be a little bit longer than mine is. So now, this is the thick end, or the larger end, the thinner end. We're gonna alternate. Just press that down. And I'm only gonna go 3 high because I have 9 chicken thighs, and I'm gonna do 2 bundles on that one and 1 bundle in the other air fryer. All right, did I do that right? Yes, I did. Okay. All right, so there we go. So that's the way you're gonna stack if you're gonna use the twine. And it's pretty much the same. Now I just tie it up. You don't have to tie it too tight, but you don't wanna tie it too loose either. And that is gonna hold it all together so that the air fryer doesn't move the chicken around, because we kind of want it to cook and sort of like almost like meld together, so to speak. All right, there we go. Now, when I'm ready to air fry, I can pick this up and put it right into the air fryer just like that. And you're gonna air fry on 400 degrees for approximately 25 minutes. It's also important that we start out with a preheated air fryer. So let me show you how to use this accessory to stack your chicken, and then we will get both air fryers preheated and the chicken shawarma in there to air fry. So this is an air fryer kebab rack, and it does come with this bottom layer of silicone that can be placed underneath. But you know what? I don't use it. I find it just to be one more thing to clean, and with all these little grooves, it's really hard to clean. So I don't use it. I set this directly on the rack that I'm gonna air fry on, which is the combi rack that goes in the combi pan, okay? So that's what we're gonna use. And we're gonna air fry on level 1. Now you could technically air fry on level 2 if you wanted to, but this is just a little bit high, and so level 1 gives the right amount of space between the fan and the heating element and the chicken. So level 1 is what I recommend. If you're doing bundles and you're doing just 2 or 3 chicken thighs in a bundle, you may be able to go up to level 2 if you want to get a little bit more browning and crispiness. Now, another thing I want to mention about the marinade is do not blot it off, do not rinse it off. A lot of times when we use a marinade and we're gonna sear it or even air fry it, we might blot it off so it doesn't burn. But we kind of want this to burn in little places. That's what gives that texture and that char flavor, and it's absolutely delicious. So don't blot, don't rinse. Certainly do not rinse. So these are the little skewers that are going to pierce through the chicken, but it's kind of difficult to assemble on the tray itself. So move the tray to the side. You're gonna have your cutting board. Now remember, we do have turmeric in here, so if you touch it, it's gonna turn your hands a little bit yellow. And we're gonna stack the chicken the exact same way. So this is the thicker end, this is the thinner end. And we'll do that with another one, but opposite. So that is the thinner end and that is the thicker end. And one more. And some of them may not even have like a total thick end or thin end. Like that one was kind of almost uniform, and that's fine. All right, so now they are stacked. It doesn't really matter like what side is up or down. It doesn't really matter. And then we're gonna go straight through the middle. I'm not gonna put it on my rack right this second because then I'm gonna get my counter all dirty. So let me do the other one, and then I will bring that rack up and we'll assemble it and get the air fryer preheated and get these air fried. All right, and then just lay it over the rack here and put the skewer back in. Now, if you were doing 3 or 4 of them, you would, of course, go this way, and then this way. And it doesn't matter if the chicken is touching like another bundle. That's not gonna make a big difference. All right, so there we go. That is how it's gonna look. Now we're gonna preheat the air fryer on 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. Then we'll get this in for 25 minutes and I will show you what it looks like at the end. So we have about 14 minutes left. Now is a good time. So 10 minutes into your air fry time is a good time to check on the chicken shawarma and make sure you don't have to make any temperature adjustments or flip the tray around, because just like in an oven, there's gonna be sometimes hot spots in an air fryer. So if you notice the back pieces of chicken are getting more done, we're gonna flip the pan around. So open up. We wanna do this fairly quickly. And you don't have to remove your pan. I do, because otherwise I can't really see what's going on because it's at an angle. Look, this looks beautiful. I don't need to do anything. I can flip the pan around or not flip the pan. These are those dark little pieces, and it's just looking great. I don't need to make any changes in the time, and it's going to be done in about 10 minutes. Now I will check a temperature just to make sure. And remember, chicken thighs are very forgiving. So if your temperature goes up into the like 180s, 180 Fahrenheit, do not fret. It is not gonna be dry. You are gonna have perfect chicken shawarma, I promise. All right, there we go. The time is up. Let's go ahead and take this out. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. And now, if you have an instant read thermometer, you're gonna take a couple of temperatures just to make sure that we've gotten up to at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit, because we are gonna let these rest for about 5 minutes and they will come up to 165. But in my experience, we're gonna be over that, and it's okay to be over that. Now, to take the temperature, you're gonna wanna go straight into the middle, but don't hit that metal rod, okay? We're up into the 190s in that spot. In this spot, we're in the 170s. Go over here, and we're in the 180s. So we are perfectly fine. So I'm just gonna let these rest for about 5 minutes. It's gonna make slicing a little bit easier. Then we're gonna slice it up and assemble our chicken shawarma sandwich that I'm gonna serve with some yellow basmati rice that is absolutely delicious and goes perfectly with this chicken shawarma. Now, a couple things to keep in mind when you're adjusting your times and temperatures, and you may have to do that because there's a lot of variables that happen in cooking. For example, when I took the bowl out of the refrigerator of the marinated chicken, I immediately went into assembling it and air frying. If you brought your chicken out an hour beforehand, which is perfectly fine, the temperature of the chicken's gonna be lower. It's gonna take less time to air fry. So keep those things in mind when you set your times and your temperatures. Go by looks, go by temperature if you have a thermometer, and adjust as needed for the best outcome. All right, if you made the bundles, you definitely want to snip the string off before you cut, because you don't want any of the string landing in somebody's shawarma plate. There's a couple of ways that you can serve the shawarma. You can just serve it sliced on a plate with some rice or pickled vegetables, but you could also make it into a shawarma wrap, which is what I'm gonna do today. So I'll show you how I assemble mine, but there are many, many ways to assemble your shawarma wrap. All right, let me get rid of this and then we'll slice this one up. This is the one that was in the air fryer, and really the exact same time and temperature. I might have added 2 more minutes to this one, but really they cook just the same. So whatever air fryer you have, you can definitely make this dish. All right, so let's get it sliced up. Now, when you slice up your chicken shawarma, you wanna do it kind of thinly. Well, at least I like to. I mean, it's yours. You can slice it however you want, but I like to do it kind of thinly. So actually, let me move this to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and go with this one because we already have some pieces falling off. And look at that. So we've got this nice exterior here that's gonna be nice and crispy, but then we've got a nice juicy interior, and that is perfect for chicken shawarma. So now just take a sharp knife and start slicing down. Oh my gosh, this is perfect. When you get to the center, you're gonna see that it is much juicier, and that's, again, exactly what we want. Now you can take this little piece out if you want, or you can use it to kind of hold as you're slicing. That's kind of what I usually do. All right, there we go. Now that would probably make 1.5 sandwiches, okay? All right, now we have the pita that I'm gonna use, which is homemade, but you can also buy them. And they are just a pliable, thick pita. Some people like to use lettuce and tomato. I usually skip the tomato. I think it makes it a little bit too soggy, but I definitely use this white garlic sauce that is also called toom, which is Arabic for garlic. And it is amazing. It looks like mayonnaise, but it is garlic sauce, and I love it, and I spread a lot on there. Then I put a little bit of romaine lettuce. Now you could shred it, you could use iceberg, you could use whatever you want. A little bit of lettuce. Cucumber I find to be one of the most important things. And that is because it cools everything down. There's a lot of garlic flavor in this garlic sauce, a little bit of spice in it, and then there's, of course, the spices in the shawarma. Now, a lot of people serve it with pickled vegetables, but I didn't have time to pickle any vegetables, but I decided to add some red peppers to it. And then we will take the shawarma meat and put it on here. Oh my gosh, this looks so amazing. Right on there like that. Actually, this would make 2 sandwiches. And there we go. And now you have your shawarma wrap, which is gonna be really crazy to try to eat, but I am going to do it on camera. Look at that. And then I like to serve mine with the yellow basmati rice, so I'll put that on the side. And if I had pickled vegetables, I would definitely serve it with that. All right, here we go. That. I don't usually put the rice in the wrap, but you know what? It wouldn't cause any issues if you did. It would be delicious. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be hard to do on camera. Here we go. This is amazing. So, even if you've never thought about making chicken shawarma at home, or even if you've never tried it, grab your air fryer, some chicken, a little bit of ingredients for the marinade, and whip up a batch of air fryer chicken shawarma, and you will thank me.